Dag nabbit. I mean, yay! 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 But also, oh, man. Oh, man. But also, yeah. No. Okay. So, yeah. We're all kind of holding our breaths here. we thought we'd get a Nintendo Direct in February, and that did not happen. And so now we're kind of like, okay, maybe March, and yet we just, we've had a lot of presentations recently for sure. Partner showcase, and a treehouse, and we shouldn't be surprised that there's an indie world happening now. I feel like they do often come paired with these partner directs, so it does make sense. It really is just like another thing that isn't a direct, I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't get me wrong. Indie World showcases are always a delight. They're always very, very fun. No, it is getting a little, cause it's like the idea of them not doing a direct. Again, I'll probably have a whole stupid conversation about this later, but yeah, just the idea of them not doing a direct until like June or whatever is like so weird. So we're like, okay, well, maybe they wanted to get some of this smaller stuff out of the way, and then they'll do a big direct later. But like each additional thing they give us that is not a direct makes it feel less and less likely that we are going to get a direct. They're just kind of giving us all of this stuff, maybe so that they don't have to give us a full direct. But then where does that leave us? But again, we'll talk about that later. I keep saying that, but I promise I will. I will do that. I hope to do that this week. But yeah, so it's another not direct thing, but it is another good thing. Again, love Indie World, and one has been announced for tomorrow at the time of this recording. Right now, it's the 2nd. It is Monday. One has been announced for Tuesday, March the 3rd. It is happening at the usual direct time of 6 a.m. Pacific time. It'll be 6 a.m. my time, which if I am, I may actually have something to do tomorrow. I'm not sure, but if I am able to catch it live, then yes, that does mean, getting up at 5 whatever. I'm used to it. I'm used to it by now. Yeah, usual direct time. Looks like it's gonna be 15 minutes. That's a little bit disappointing. It's I don't know, maybe it's just the lack of the big direct is making me greedy. I'm like, all right, well, if you're not gonna give me a big juicy direct, you better give me a whole bunch of this other stuff. Yeah, 15 minutes. It's not a super duper long time. Apparently the Japanese one is gonna be 25 minutes. Interesting. I wonder why. That's just like, are there just more indie games going to Japan, or like they just more that they felt like highlighting? I don't know. I imagine they probably even have totally different games that they do show off. I really don't know. I've never watched a Japanese indie world. But yeah, it is 15 minutes, so it's not a whole lot. I really do hope that means they're gonna make it pretty snappy. I really do hope they just kind of move through, because like with any of these presentations, you never really know when they're gonna like reveal a game, and then you watch the trailer, and then it cuts to the developers, and then they talk about the game, and then it shows off the game. And like, there's nothing wrong with that, but with like a really tight time frame for a presentation, you don't want one game to chew up 3-4 minutes, So I'm hoping the pace is really snappy. As far as what we may see, now that Silk Song is behind us, these are all, nobody has like the one thing to like rally around and like hope for. But there are a few things. Yeah, Witchbrook. I keep being like, I see people talking about Witchbrook, and that seems to be one of the ones that people are waiting for. That's a game that I am always surprised when I hear it brought up, and I'm reminded that it's not out yet. I have not been following the game at all, or like why it's taking so long, but yeah, I feel like they had to have been a year ago by now, right? Some like last year Indie World or something, they were showing that off. It looked really nice, but yeah, it's okay. Apparently that's something that we're waiting for. For me, it's Mina the Hollower. Like you can never ever get your hopes up, obviously, but it would be surprising if we did not see it tomorrow. It would be very surprising. Nintendo and Yacht Club Games, they've had a good relationship. It's a very high-profile indie, so it's like the perfect sort of thing to either begin or end the presentation with. It's a game that was supposed to come out last Halloween, but then they had to delay it one more time But then they didn't give a date, and they didn't give a date because they were like, we don't want to keep like playing with people. We don't want to give you a date until it is basically like done. It is gone gold. It's been uploaded. We filled in all data. You know, it's I frame it as like a YouTube video. We uploaded it. We put in the title. We put in all the metadata, the thumbnail, the end slate, and all that. Yeah, basically like they want it to be ready to go, where there is literally no chance whatsoever that anything else could delay it, or that they could like think of some reason why they can't release it yet, you know. And they want to, and it makes sense, you know. They've talked about how this game is kind of a make or break thing for them. It took a lot longer than they thought to make it, and so it's kind of like it kind of has to do well. They're really counting on it doing well. So I understand the desire to launch it in a good state, especially these days with the, you know, the internet outrage machine as it is. If there's one little flaw with it, that's going to be like the entire game's identity. I know, oversimplification, but like it needs to go well. Launch needs to go really well. Needs to be, you know, a lot of sales early on, push it up in the charts, yada yada. So yeah, we can't get our hopes up that it'll be at the presentation, but I do think it is very likely. And because, you know, you can never count on a shadow drop. They do happen. And in fact, they happen a good amount during these exact presentations. Indie Worlds are pretty good at dropping stuff on us, and sometimes it's a shadow drop. You can't count on it, but because they have said they don't want to give us a release date until it's basically ready to go, okay, well then why wouldn't you end an Indie World with a shadow drop for Mina? I don't know, like it seems too plausible, you know? So I certainly hope that happens, but even just a release date would be pretty good, especially because if it's already ready to go, then that release date will not be long. Even if it's not a shadow drop, it'll be pretty close. So I hope for that, because that is definitely a game I've been looking out for a good number of years. You know, ever since they revealed it, it just ticks a lot of boxes for me. It's just so many boxes. There's just so many boxes all crammed together. Ticks every single one. Ticks them real good. But beyond that, and like Witchbrook, yeah, I don't know what else people are like hoping for right now, but they're always a good time. I want to say the last few have kind of been kind of okay, you know, because like there have been plenty of Indie World showcases where it's like, wow, there were like a lot of really good looking games in there. You know, sometimes if they are a little bit short, or like a lot of the games kind of skew toward one kind of theme, you know, like, oh, it's a bunch of, you know, it's all farming sims or whatever. I don't know. I'm hoping for a good amount of diversity. I'm hoping for a good number of titles. If it's going to only be 15 minutes, I hope it's a good packed 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. The last few have been like, they're always good, but they're all right. Let's get a real winner, you know? In the absence of a big direct, we need winners. We need good solid presentations to come away from being like, well, there's a whole bunch of video games I want to purchase for my Nintendo Switch 1 or 2 system. Oh yeah, and then one thing worth mentioning, as some people have pointed out, this will mark the exact 9-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch 1. Wow. 9 years. That's a lot of years. That's almost 10 years, in fact. So that's kind of funny. Okay, I was reading articles, and I'm in the comments on the Nintendo Life article, and I gotta give credit to G Kunit. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it says take 5 minutes out for Tia and Esteban to introduce us to their game about sharpening pencils, inspired by the sound of the winds over the Peruvian plains. And what have we got time left for? The intro and the outro, and that's about it. That's like, I mean, they ain't wrong. I mean, I love that about these presentations. I really do think it's cool how much they show off these like art games, you know, these like real, like they really do go after those, these like real passion projects that are inspired by people and their experiences and their cultural backgrounds and everything. And I think that is really cool. You know, I don't want to like minimize that, but it is like when you're looking at a really tight presentation, it is funny how like that can that can chew up a lot of time. These like funny little these little like really weird like out there art games So you've got this ravenous crowd who's just like screaming for like more video games and Nintendo Directs and everything, and like these presentations can just be very, very just like patient and like showing off these. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, but like really like like to be fair, the Peruvian pencil sharpening game, it's like it's gonna be it's gonna review super well, and I'm gonna have it on my wish list. I'm not gonna get around to playing it, but I am gonna put it on my wish list, and I am gonna watch the trailer, and I'm gonna be like, that looks really good. I'd really like to play that someday. I'll never play it, but it's the thought that counts.